So you guys might remember in the previous video, I talked about the five kingdoms and how the five kingdoms beat this 80-20 rule model. And I mentioned to you how all your activities that are on your brain, right, they need to have a place. Your faith, your fellowship, your finances, your feelings, your fitness, right? All your tasks need to have a home, right? And as you put in all these tasks, you start to feel a certain amount of relief putting them into their appropriate category. What I didn't share in the previous video leading up to this was what does it look like when you go back to that American Time Use Survey um, and apply the five kingdom rule, right? What does it look like, right? To talk about the faith, to talk about the fellowship, to talk about the finances, to talk about the feelings, to talk about the fitness, like having things be in their rightful place. Like, what does that really look like if we take it back onto that American Time Use Survey example, right? So fundamentally, this is supposed to bring you bliss and joy, right? Bring happiness to your whole soul. Okay. So if that matters to you, keep watching because now I'm going to talk about um, these five kingdoms of in action. Okay. What does it look like for it to be in action? So first, when we're talking about sleeping, we know that that's a physical kingdom exercise. When we're talking about working related activities, that's a money exercise. Leisure and sports, that's going to be emotional well-being. Household activities, that's a physical kingdom activity. Eating and drinking, that's another physical kingdom activity. Caring for others, that's a fellowship-based activity. And um, other can be a number of things, actually. Although I put the spiritual activity in there, it's only primarily because there isn't anything else, right, that's in here that looks like it's spiritual, if you think about it, right? So faith, fellowship, finances, feelings, and fitness is what the five kingdoms are, right? So you got faith in that, other category that I mentioned there. Fellowship as far as caring for others. Finances is a given in that green part. Emotional well-being is in that red part of the pie. And then fitness, you can see how it dominates, right? So again, everybody's life is going to be different. So now, like I mentioned, you also have some physical activities I forgot to mention that also are happening in that other area, right? But so self-care meditation, the reason why that question was there is because it wasn't accounted for, right? All right, go figure. So now this is what your 24 hours is going to be made up of. And notice in here, there's no mention of like social media and what a time suck that is, okay? So now what do we do? Well, now that you know, this is what the five kingdoms looks like when it's mapped onto your life. I want to just make this simple, very clear point, and why, if you're really genuinely interested in just really having a meaningful experience of living your life and not just being a grind machine, you've got to think about something. So reducing uncertainty requires cerebral energy. This is from one of the medical papers that I've studied in preparation for these presentations. And so reducing uncertainty requires cerebral energy. In times of uncertainty, the selfish brain demands extra energy from the body, right? Stress originates from uncertainty. So if you find yourself getting ill, getting sick because your immune system is down, which we know stress, the impact of stress is that our immune system is lowered in a way that makes us more vulnerable, right, to illness. Part of that is because there's, in some cases, a certain amount of uncertainty in our lives, right? And another word for uncertainty is worry, right? How many times when something isn't working out in any of those five kingdoms that I mentioned, like, do you like start to worry, right? Worry comes from something not being predictable, not knowing how something is going to turn out. Stress originates from that uncertainty, that not knowing what's going to happen next, that overwhelm, right? And I just wanted to make the case. You don't have to be on top of everything. You just have to be responsible for creating certainty. This should be like a, oh, wow, kind of moment. Just be responsible for creating certainty. For the people who come to me and say, oh my God, bro, this system, this model, this whatever it is that you put together, oh man, it's just changing my life. What they are really saying, right, that they sometimes don't articulate it in this way, is that they now feel that they have a certain amount of certainty, that they feel that they are in control of creating, especially in the areas of like relationships that have been unpredictable as far as the dynamics of that, especially in areas as far as, their work life. in their relationship with the universe and God and what kind of prayers they want to pray. I mean, I can go on and on and on about this, right? So, like I said, you don't have to be on top of everything. You just have to be responsible for creating certainty in the areas that are important to you. And so the five kingdoms give you a sense of control over chaos. It offers certainty, right? And look, could you be more certain in certain kingdoms? Absolutely. Could you be more certain about what your weight loss goals are and your nutrition goals are? Yeah, sure. Could you be more certain in the financial area and knowing like where exactly how much money you're going to be? Yeah, but that's what planning and scheduling and tasks, using some of the other tools that I'll be sharing with you are for, right? Therefore, helping you get to that place where you feel a certain amount of certainty. Right? There's some things I'm not certain about in my journey, right? But I'm responsible for creating enough certainty to move into the uncertain to create more certainty. That's what this comes down to, guys. That's what this is all about. And if you're not using your Google Calendar or your iCal, your Outlook, or whatever the tools are that you use, right? I only mention those because those are the ones I, sort of historically have most commonly either used, been exposed to, or seen people use. But whatever system you've got in place, the question is, does it create triple to 10x your productivity and have you have the experience of certainty, right? So what you should be scheduling in your calendar are things that bring you certainty. And if it ain't bringing you certainty, it doesn't need to be in your calendar. And it's got to be noted in a particular way to reinforce that certainty, to remind you of that intention that this task, this meeting should be bringing you more and more certainty, right? Because when you're more certain, the stress level goes down. When that stress level goes down, the confidence can also increase, right? And even in the face of certain kinds of stresses, should they arise, with that newfound confidence, you can address it. This making sense? So don't underestimate this. And like I said, when we get to that point of using your Outlook calendar, your Google Calendar, your whatever it is that you use, you will use that like the samurai knife or blade that you need to use it to cut through the nonsense and to really carve out a path for yourself of extraordinary, productive, soulful living. All right. Hope this has made a difference for you. If you see it somewhere, look, man, I just know I can't do this by myself. I need your help with getting the word out. Hit the like button, hit the share button, go into the description section and get yourself into the Facebook group or the community that leads you to, depending on where you catch this, and like get into the community, into the conversation, like so you can get the help that you need to create your own experience of certainty in your five kingdoms. Making sense? All right, guys, appreciate you, and I will see you in the upcoming videos.